Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Week 4 matchup, Shuckle Premier League, going up against Shuckleking himself, looking to pick up a big W here today. Team Builder will be in the description of this video if you guys want to go check that out, and it is going to be a little post-commentary as well. Trying to find out what you guys like, what you guys don't like, what works better. As you guys can see on the team here, we are bringing very, very heavy sun, and my man Shuckleking is bringing very, very heavy weather. I talked about in the team builder, we are bringing Mamoswine as a very dedicated lead here just to make sure that we can OHKO the Pelipper and just win the weather war, just right out the gate with a freeze dry. I think it matches up into a fair amount of his team, really. Hoping to catch the Pelipper right out the gate if he does. You know, if I were to lead Sun and he were to lead with the Pelipper itself, we would be on the back foot a little bit, having the Rain Setter in against our Sun Setter. So hopefully good bait. We'll see what happens. Definitely scared of the Excalibur if it can set up. He did bring the potential hazard setters with spikes on the Greninja, with rocks on the Bronzong. Both of his potential Terra Captains as well are coming to play. So we'll see how he wants to lead. So kicking things off, he does lead off with the Greninja as I lead off with the Mamoswine here. And one big thing to note that was pretty prevalent in Gen 7, and I may have fallen to the wayside, is that you always want to make sure that your Greninjas are male Greninja. If they are, male Greninjas are the only ones that can be Battle Bond. So this being a female Greninja, there's a very good chance that it is the only Protean. I doubt that he would bring Torrent. So given that, I think that a physical Greninja makes a little bit more sense. So I want to stay in and take this. I don't think that he'll go for an offensive move right out the gate here. I just want to get a little bit of speed control. If he goes for like a low kick or something like that, we can take those. We do see that he is Protean. We make the right read as he goes for a U-turn. That is doing a lot of damage. Life Orb Greninja there just absolutely doing some stuff to us here. We've got a few choices to make. We can stay in and attack whatever wants to come in. If he predicts any sort of like a rock set, he can go out into the Hatterene, which is exactly what he does, hoping to magic bounce some hazards back to us. Thankfully, we are able to get some good damage off with Rock Tomb, just a little bit of chip. Of course, speed on a, base 30 special attacking Pokemon isn't too necessary here. And this is what we packed the Heavy Slam for. Heavy Slam into a max HP Hatterene is doing quite a bit of damage, so we'll just stay in and keep attacking what's in front of us. There's no sense in my mind to make any reads that we don't need to make. We are able to take the Mystical Fire that this thing might want to throw off thanks to our Thick Fat and our Assault Vest. Pretty bulky defensively naturally, so a Psy Shock wouldn't do too much to us as well. And yeah, you know, this could be a good opportunity for Mamoswine to just start going ham right out the gate. Heavy Slam doing a clean amount of damage as the Hatterene ends up going for a Calm Mind. Now, puts us in a really commanding position here because a second Heavy Slam is going to knock this thing out. And again, I'm just not going to make any blind judgments. I'm just going to go on ahead and click the Heavy Slam one more time because that is going to be the play. I'm hovering over Rock Tomb here potentially, or Freeze Dry, because I feel like the Pelipper is a very easy switch here, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to make the reads. I can knock out the Hatterene that's in front of me. And just put one Mon down, put us on a little bit more of an offensive start. We're sitting at roughly 3/4 of our health, so depending on any sort of special attacking set, we are able to still take some good damage. And we'll see here that if I did want to make that crazy read into the Pelipper going for a freeze dry right out of the gate, that would have been just amazing. I think praises would have been sung for a long time to come. Now, again, we are able to take a lot of hits from a defensive Pelipper. Even some offensive Pelippers we are able to hit pretty hard. So I'm going to go for the freeze dry here. After the fact, it was confirmed that this was a Scarf Pelipper set, which I thought was really, really cool just to be able to get that off. He goes for a Surf, modest Scarf Pelipper in the rain, bringing us down to 23. We're able to live that freeze dry, turning around, knocking out the Pelipper. We have officially won the weather war. So Mamoswine has done great. Mamoswine has scared out the Greninja. Mamoswine has done some great damage into the Hatterene, and Mamoswine has taken care of the Pelipper. So really great value pick. I'm really happy that we were able to pick this up in free agency a few weeks back. Just doing a lot of work right out of the gate, just showing just how reliable it can be overall, right? So whatever ends up coming in, provided it doesn't threaten me immediately with setting up with something like, you know, Excalibur or something along those lines, because obviously we have a lot of special attack investment. We wouldn't do too much to it right out the gate, although a Heavy Slam might be able to chip it down. that we're probably just going to let this thing go down, quite honestly. You know, it has done its work here. He does end up going out into the Greninja, which is totally fine. This thing attacking us is going to end up taking a little bit more Life Orb recoil, so he's going to be just that much weaker for an endgame sweep, you know, with Gouging Fire, just being able to pick things off, maybe with Walking Wake, something along those lines. So I'll just go for the Rock Tomb just in case he, you know, misses a Hydro Pump here. He does not go straight for the Protean Hydro Pump, so Mamoswine, you deserve a good rest. Thank you for setting the foundation for a phenomenal game here. Gren's sitting at roughly about 80% here. I know that we are faster with the Walking Wake. I don't want to take a Hydro Pump in the sun here, so I'm going to go on ahead, or I don't want to take a Hydro Pump in the rain here with any of our mons. So I do want to take this opportunity to get the sun up. And at this point, I am going to hard swap out into the Walking Wake. A Hydro Pump in the sun is still doing about 60 to 70 from Life Orb, Protean, Greninja. And I do want to keep my Sunset around. We are rocking the Sunny Day on Gouging Fire as well. So I do have that alternate opportunity to set that up if I do need to, but I'd rather keep those Pokemon that can set up the sun around just a little bit longer. So Walking Wake just being able to take that Hydro Pump really well. And because we are Scarf, we'll also get the Photosynthesis boost for our special attack. We'll be able to do some great damage in return if we choose to. There comes the Photosynthesis boost, and I did say in the team builder that really between the Scarf and the Photosynthesis boost makes it a little bit hard to kind of prep for what is this Pokemon do. I don't think he wants to stay in. I don't think he wants to keep tossing this off, so I am just going to go for a flip turn here. Try to get a little bit offensive momentum in my favor. I think we've done a really good job of just pedal to the metal so far this game with the aggressive reads with Mamoswine, with switching into Walking Wake, and I don't want to lose that momentum. I want to keep Shuckleking on the back foot just a little bit here. So I want to flip turn because I think now that the Weather War has been won, this is a great opportunity to just bring in Gouging Fire and do Gouging Fire things. Just hit things really hard in the sun with that boost. We see that he does switch out from the Greninja into Ludi Leo, of course. Shout out Leo. He does go out into the Ludi Leo here, which is pretty good switch, quite honestly. That flip turn is going to do absolutely negligible damage. It's 4 times resisted. But we will be able to really set up in front of this thing with Gouging Fire. He can't do too much to us. If he is Terra Fairy, he'll be doing neutral damage to us with Terra Blast. Any water moves are neutral as well. Any ice moves are neutral. So it'd have to be like a Terra Poison Terra Blast I mean, even that, like, it just is not doing too much to us. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go for a Dragon Dance right out the gate. There's not too much to think about here, especially now that the Weather War has been won. Now, one thing to consider is that Shuckleking did bring Manual Rain on this thing week 1 against Kyle A. So, like, we are bringing Manual Sun on Gouging Fire. That could be a possibility. So it'll be good to just start setting up in front of this thing to make sure that we can take some hits if we do want to. If he does go for, you know, if he does reveal like a Terra Water Rain Dance here, just being able to start to set up and try to get a little bit of speed momentum on our side is really where I want to go with that. We can see that he withdraws, and he's going to go out into Jason Kelsey. And fun fact, I just found out who the Kelsey brothers were like a few weeks ago. Shout out to Taylor Swift. But Dragon Dancing in front of this thing is going to put us in a pretty favorable spot because the sun is up, the Photosynthesis boost is up, the attack is up. Even a heat-proof Bronzong is not going to appreciate any sort of attack that we want to go for here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Flare Blitz. We're just going to start doing Gouging Fire things. We are going to gouge the fire here. And really see what this Bronzong wants to do to us. Gouging Fire is going to go for the Flare Blitz, and we are going to knock out the Bronzong completely from full. Don't know if it was heat-proof or not after the fact, but he is going to get a good amount of recoil on us. Flare Blitz, going for Flare Blitz over Heat Crash was the play this week. I wanted to make sure that we do just the most possible damage at +1. Heat Crash doing a lot of damage to a lot of his Pokemon, but the biggest concern was the Excalibur being able to take advantage of a Heat Crash set. If he knew we were running only mono fire coverage there. Heat Crash, we did need to boost a bit more in order to knock out the Excalibur than we do with with Flare Blitz. We are able to just hit a lot of Pokemon here. So brings in the Hatterene, and I think at this point it is going to be a game of trying to wear down, stall out Sun turns. I do have to, at this point, I assume he's playing that. We have to stall out the Sun turns, get as much recoil damage as we can on this thing as well. So he is going to go on ahead and let the Hatterene go down to a Flare Blitz. Gouging Fire picking up 2 KOs thus far. We're looking pretty good, 5-3 right now. He has the Ludicolo in the back. He still has the Greninja, I believe, and he's got the Excalibur as well here. And we're looking in a pretty commanding spot, if I had to say so. He's going to go back into the Ludileo, and I don't think at this point that this Pokemon does have manual rain, quite honestly. We are running fairly okay on sun turns. I want to make sure that we put ourselves in a good enough position afterwards to outspeed. You know, if this thing is manual rain, I want to go on ahead and go for that right now. Just to make sure if this is the opportunity that it takes to go for that manual rain, the next turn we'll be able to still outspeed in the rain and get our sunny day off in front of it and continue to set up from that point. He does reveal that he is Terra Fairy on this thing, so he is going to be immune to any sort of dragon-type moves that we do have. Terra Blast is going to be a neutral hit on us. Any water or ice moves that he has are going to be neutral hits as well, so puts us still in a pretty favorable position. We're at +2. He goes for the Ice Beam. And at this point, we are risking some freezes. I believe Flare Blitz will always thaw us out, but with the sun up, we are going to be able to go for the Morning Sun and get nice and full and healthy back up here, which is what we want to see. Goes for another Ice Beam here, doing about 25% or so. So we're in a pretty fair spot here. I want to see how many more turns of sun left. This is our last turn of sun, so I want to make sure that we have a fresh amount of sun to take on the remainder of the team. We are at +2, so if it is maybe a defensive Baxcalibur set or something along those lines, the Flare Blitz, it is a roll to knock that out, and I want to make sure that we are, especially coming after 3 losses, I want to make sure that we're keeping up as much differential as possible. So I'll go for another Morning Sun just to get back up to full. Still doing about 25%. The Photosynthesis wears off. I'll go for the Sunny Day here. Sunny Day into a Morning Sun just to keep our health up as healthy as possible going into this match is going to put us just in the most favorable position that we can here. We'll get our attack boost up. Goes for the Ice Beam again, puts us at right around half, depending on any sort of damage rolls, depending on any sort of priority that he may have. I want to make sure that I'm as healthy as possible, so I don't want anybody to think that it was just purposeful stalling for the point of stalling. That's not, I don't like that. I think you know, if you're going to lose, you just lose, so just to provide some insight there. We do go for the Flare Blitz, +2 in the sun, Photosynthesis booster. We are able to knock out the Ludicolo as well, leaving my opponent with just the Greninja and the Baxcalibur as well. So it's looking to be a pretty solid Gouging Fire sweep. Moving forward into, goes on to Flaky John. This is the big threat that I was worried about, just making sure we have enough firepower to knock out here. I'm not going to think. I'm just going to click Flare Blitz over and over again. The Greninja is going to come in shortly after this, and that is going to be game. So big, powerful 5-0 victory here for the Detroit Steel Wings going into week 4. I really did want to turn around. You know, the first few weeks were a little dicey. You know, we had a very close match week 1. We had a very close match week 2. Week 3, we got kind of boogied over due to a misplay on my end here. But we are able to finish things off here. Gouging Fire picking up 5 kills. And just trying to turn the season around overall. Just put the team on Gouging Fire's back is really what we are here to do. Able to live on a little bit of recoil there. So that is going to be game. GG's to my man Shuckleking. Definitely go check out his channel in the description, and I will see you guys all next week.